think we've got Canara joining us now.
Absolutely. So let's straight away get to those numbers in that conversation. The bank in the second quarter came out with its best deposit growth in 6 quarters and best loan growth in 4 quarters. Slippages have declined and ROA is looking quite good as well. Deposit growth, one can argue, is maybe a little weak. Well, we have the CEO and MD of Canara Bank now joining in. Sir, good morning. Thanks so much for taking this call. I want to start first with the margin question, because when we got into the quarter, the entire street was worried about margin compression. And for you, that's not happened. Actually, there's been a small improvement, not improvement, but at least you've held things steady on a quarter-on-quarter basis. What is the outlook on the cost of funds and margins going ahead?
No, definitely, we are able to maintain in the first 6 months, but there is a pressure on the interest expenses because the incremental growth of deposit, whatever, to meet the requirement of the credit demand, double-digit demand. We are able to rise from the retail term deposits, majority, and partly from the low-cost deposits. But the low-cost deposit growth is not at par with that the retail term deposit growth. That's why the cost, little bit, there may be a chance of moving up in the coming quarters. So the NIM may be able to maintain a 2.9 to 3.05% in between these two things if the market conditions continues in the same level. If the liquidity improves, we may again able to maintain.
2.9 to 3.05%, that would be your range for margins for the rest of this year.
Yes, madam.
Okay. All right. Sir, hi, good morning and congratulations. Pretty good showing this time around. You know, your loan book, your book is currently, I think, around 9.3 lakh crore approximately. And I recall the gold part of the book had grown very well. A few years ago, it was around 80,000. Then it jumped to around 1.2 lakh. What is the updated number out there in terms of your gold book? And how do you see that, scaling up from here on? I think it used to be mid-teens as a percentage. Tell us what's the updated number.
So latest it is 1.4%. It is growing year on year around 27 to 28%. The major thrust is actually the speedy disposal of the request. For that, we have identified several branches, almost 6,000 branches, mostly in the South India, and we have created separate counters for these, particularly jewel loan disposals. When somebody comes for the jewel loan, it is an emergency.
Right. So just to interrupt, 1.4 lakh crore, I think you were referring to, right? In terms of their absolute number.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, you're making that point. Please go ahead, sir.
1,000 crores. It's a walk-ins are improving a lot. It's not that we are paying a separate attention on that and all. I think customer confidence we could gain very much on this, if they step into that Canara Bank, they get the loan in the fastest mode. That has created, and it's performing not in one particular area, it is performing across the country. And it is a walk-in business. There is no special thrust on that and all. So only thing, whatever the initiatives we have taken to streamline that disposal of the applications, I think that is giving a results in increasing in the gold loan.
Mr. Raju, hi, good morning. Prashant here. I'm sure players like, Muthoot and Manappuram have got their television volumes up, listening to what you're saying. And you said that you identified 6,000 branches and you're basically going to set up separate counters for this to facilitate this, mostly in the south of India on the gold loan side. Got that. Let's just talk about a little bit about deposit and loan growth. Could you tell us what deposit growth will look like from here? At what costs are incremental savings deposits coming in? That is one. Second, what is the outlook on loan growth, overall loan growth going forward?
So initially in the financial year when we commenced, we interacted with you and we are given a guidance that our total business growth will be in the 10% and the credit growth will be around 10.5% and the deposit growth at 8%. And even first 6 months, you can look at that our YOY deposit growth is above what we have given the deposit growth of 8%. Now as on date, it is 8.66%. It is in line with what we have given the guidance. Even the advances growth, though we have given the guidance at 10.5, in interactions I shared with you, saying that it may be around 12% to 13% or 14% in between that. As on date, the first 6 months, we have shown that to 12.11%. If you look at specifically this particular quarter, you just see that the RAM growth itself is a more than 5% in only one quarter, 5.18%. And it is not that it is so dominating by one particular sector. And we have seen a double-digit growth in the retail growth first time. We have seen a double-digit growth in the agriculture. We are almost touching a double-digit growth in the even MSME. That means the growth is not coming from only either corporate or from one particular gold or something. Even corporate, you see that we have grown at 2.73 as against the RAM growth of 5.18 in the quarter-on-quarter basis. Our endeavor is, our impression on the branches is, we want to activate all our 9,700 outlets to contribute to the business. That has given a plus point. For that, we have introduced some transparent ranking system among the branches, among the ROs, among the circles. That ranking system, every month we are disclosing it openly, transformation to everybody. Everybody will know where they stand in that. That has cultivated some competition among the people, and it has started generating some business in every outlet of the bank. The another thing, we also introduced a CRM model, that is a customer relationship model, in 6,000 branches approximately, and we have created a relationship manager concept in all the mid corporate and large corporate and MSME cells also. So that has again yielded some result in getting in the form of a even ancillary business, so that our CASA, you just look at that the absolute numbers. Savings bank also has increased quarter on quarter, and even the first 6 months, even current account also absolute number is growing. At least we should be able to show that growth, whatever the initiatives we have taken in the first quarter, coming out with the new initiatives and new products, the targeting for the sectors like an younger generation or a salaried class or pensioners, separate schemes we introduced. All these initiatives now started giving the results. That's why we are confident that whatever the growth we have shown in this will continue in the next.
Mr.
12 to 14%.
Mr. Raju, if you could just allow me to come in there, sir. So your point is taken that you guided for about 10% loan growth, and you're within that vicinity right now. But, some experts on the street will argue that loan growth for Canara Bank is not as healthy as some of the peers, some of the other banks. I mean, if I'm looking at a year-on-year basis, so you don't see any reason to scale up your loan growth guidance. That's one. And on loan growth, give us some more color on retail. Your retail book year-on-year is growing about 10% or so. What's the outlook specifically on the unsecured side? Because that's where there's a lot of scrutiny. Even the RBI has been making that point. How large is the unsecured portion of your retail loan book? And do you see any cause of stress over there?
The regulator concern in unhealthy growth in the unsecured loan retail portfolio, madam. But for Canara Bank case, that retail unsecured portfolio growth is a double digit in line with our retail growth. There is no too much growth is there, because we are very particular about the lending unsecured loans to the retail growth. That is, we made it a mandatory that loan will be available only to the salaried class, no other persons, and that salaried class also, there's salary drawing option should be with the Canara Bank. People who are opted for Canara Bank to draw their salaries only is serving with the unsecured loan portfolio. So in that way, I don't see any issue on that unsecured portfolio, and our NPA in that unsecured portfolio as on date, it is only 8,000 crores in that retail, and the percentage of NPA is only 1.65%.
Okay, all right, Mr. Raju, thanks so much for stopping by, giving us all those details. We expect to grow more than 10%. NIMs could be in that vicinity of roughly around 3%, or in sounding reasonably optimistic on business as we speak. That stock has moved to the high point of the day. But more